Hello there, folks. This quick video is going to talk about a little bit of widget design and why I like to have my tags at the root level of the data tags instead of already have them nested in folders. So here's an example screen of what we build in a typical ADC Red Lion class. We design a HVAC controller. We do all kinds of neat things and so forth. This last class, we went a little further and we added a gauge here, but we also added some labels around the gauge here. So I want to show you something. I'm going to take this and I want to make this a widget, the whole thing that I could reuse over and over again. So I'm going to attempt, let's see here, team, I'm going to attempt to see if I can highlight all these items. So let's see, I'll click on that one, and then I'm going to hold down the shift button, and I'm going to click on these individual items. And notice as I do that down here, it might not show up in the video, but in lower left-hand corner there, it'll say how many items are selected. Let me right-click and copy. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, and then for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and create a new page. Just use my scratch pad, and I'll change the background color to white. And then if I do a paste, there I pasted the whole thing on there. Now my goal of this is to widgetize this whole item. Now everything in here is affiliated with the tag called tempf. In my typical class, we create the tag called tempf. We have it connected to module 1, which is down here, and we typically have a thermocouple input that we monitor for temperature input. So I want to affiliate everything in here with that tag, so I want to show you something. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the whole thing. Well, I didn't get it all. I'm going to highlight all the items. There you go. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So let me make this a little smaller here so you guys can see this part here. Well, hold on. There. Down here it says 6 items. You see in the lower left-hand corner. So with all 6 items highlighted, I'm going to right-click and I'm going to widgetize. The whole thing is affiliated with really only one tag called tempf. So I'm going to click the edit button here, hit 1, put 1 tag here, and if I just cheat a little, I'll go over here to the right and I'll notice there's tempf. So I'm going to call this guy temp underscore f as in Frank. This here will be my temperature tag. It's going to be an integer value and it's going to be a tag here. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on folder binding, and normally when I show how to build a widget, we don't have any tags at that time nested in directories or folders. Now they are. So I want to show you something. I'm going to go ahead and enable. Click OK. There's my temperature tag. I'll click OK again, and there you have it. But the problem is everything inside of here is still hard-coded to a specific tag. Let me show you what I mean by that. If I remember this, if you click away, you got no focus. If you click on it one time, you're holding it. If you click on something again, let's say I want to go into the specifics of the gauge here. So if I double click on the gauge, look right here, team. The problem is that this tag with the folder binding and the tag already in a folder, this thing is currently hard-coded already to this particular tag. That's not what I want. I want this thing to be coded to the tempf, which resides in the widget. So here's what you have to do in this case. You have to click in here a few times, or where you get this to be general, and you can put your cursor in here, and you're going to delete the folder name room underscore 1 or whatever the folder is. Now here's the trick that you did this correct. If I hit enter, it should turn blue, or accepted, I should say, accepted. Now if you look, you know that it accepted this because over here there's not a folder at the root directory called tempf. That tells me that this thing did get connected to the tag I declared as a widget. So I have to do this for all these, as you can see here. There. That takes care of that one. I don't think I did anything else in this one. Nope. Okay. Now what about these things though? These things right here. So what I got to do here now is I got to go into each of these elements, and this is interesting. We've got this code right here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this, as I did before. Boom. Goes to 0 because it's not connected. But let's look at this one. This one has a little complex code. If I hit edit, you can see here what we did in the class. We actually created a little code here. So we're taking the max value minus the min divided by 4 plus the min to get where that position is. So here's the dilemma. I have to go in here and I get to delete all of the room 1 folders like so. There you go. And then maybe I'll change this as 25. Let's see. I think it's 25%. So if I hit OK, it takes it. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I guess it'd be 20%, wouldn't it, team? This should really be 20%. Sorry. This should be the 20% value. Okay. Now make that 25. Anyway, sorry, I'm just having fun with my name here. So there's the 25 percentile there. I got to do the same on this one. This one here, I need to remove all of these folder references. That guy, and that guy right there. Whoops. And of course, this one is the 50 percentile number. So I hit OK, OK again. And this one here is the 75 percentile number. So I'll do the same here. So the moral of the story is that if I would have had the tags in the root directory instead of subnested, I wouldn't have to go through each one of these procedures to basically disconnect them from their hard-coded tag all the way to the widget tag. Okay, so now that I've got that done there, theoretically I could then save the widget. Now a couple other things I want to point out to you guys that kind of bug me a little bit. This button here is really kind of big, so I'm going to shrink it a little bit, and then I'll drag it over here just because I don't need to have all these. So if that space looks good, I'm going to highlight the rest of these, and watch this. I'm going to right click on this one, same size as, and then I got to hover this guy right here, and then I'll do the same for this one, same size as, this guy right here, and I'll do the same for this one, same size as, this guy right here, and then I'll do the same for this last one. Okay, now that I've got them all the same size, I might do a little more positioning here. Okay, now notice the green bar is way out here right now. That's where I started. If I click away and now click on it, you'll see that it's actually a little smaller. So now that I've done all that work, team, now I can theoretically, I can link this up to any tag in the folders. Because I've got the folder binding, if I right click and if I go to bind widget, I should be able to grab any of these folders right here, drag it here, boom, and it automatically linked up to that value right there. Let's say I do this. Let's say I drag this guy over here. I'll copy this whole thing. Let's paste it again. And if I go bind this one, say I bind this to room 4, for instance, right there. Now you can see right now that they're both the same. However, if I go over here, and let me look here real quick. Did we do this one, room 3? This is room 2, and the other one's room 4. Okay, so if I go over here to room 2, click on the temp F, and notice down here we've got the simulate as. Let's say I change this to 80, 800, 80.0. And if I go to room 4 here, let's say on this one we want it to be 90, for instance. Now, if I go back here to display pages, look how they kind of look the same. If I click one time, yeah, I expected that thing to move, but it didn't anyway. So I expected this thing to move, but it didn't. So let's try something here. Let's say if I go here, oops, drag this guy out here. There's my 80, okay. Drag this guy out here. Let's try something here. Just clear binding. Let's say take room 2. Huh, well, I was hoping it would have shown like the simulated value, but it didn't jump up. Oh well. Anyway, that's just a quick example, team, of how to build a widget and why I prefer to have my tags when I'm designing my widgets at the root level. I don't have them nested into folders. Otherwise, you have to go in and basically disconnect each item in here to the widget tag. So I just thought I'd make a quick video of that. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day.